Imagine you're a citizen of Tibet. You're protesting and protecting the Potala Palace as the Chinese PLA closes in. Shooting machine guns and artillery shells towards you. You hear the explosions and see your fellow citizens die as this blood splatters the walls and floors around you. As you get hit, you pray for the future Tibetans to fight on. We are these future Tibetans. Hello, my name is Tenzin Chokrab Kundeling. I'm a 14-year-old Tibetan boy who is a part of the Tibetan Advocacy Group known as VTAG. If anyone wants to know about this organization, please talk to me or Chokrab Kundeling. I also pay my respects to the traditional custodians of this land who are part of the oldest surviving continuous cultures on Earth. I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. Now without further ado, I'll explain the history of Tibet and the importance of joining these protests. 10th of March 1959. Tibetan Uprising Day was the day when hundreds of thousands of Tibetans stood up against the Chinese Communist Party, defending the Nobulinka Palace so that the Dalai Lama would not attend the theater event held by the communists, which was rumored to be a disguise to assassinate His Holiness. Even after the Dalai Lama announced he wasn't going to attend, the Tibetans still stayed in fear that the Chinese Communist Party would try to kidnap their leader. The 12th of March 1959 was Women's Uprising Day. Hundreds of thousands of Tibetan women surrounded the Potala Palace in protest of Tibetan independence. During this protest, women appealed to the Indian consulate in Lhasa for help. 13th of March 1959 was one, if not the largest demonstration ever to occur in Lhasa. Hundreds of thousands of Tibetans rejected the 17-point agreement, the agreement that the Chinese forced the Tibetans to sign in the year of 1949. The agreement provided national regional autonomy under the leadership of the Central People's Government of China. The 14th of March 1959, thousands of women gathered outside of the Potala Palace once more in protest led by Kundeling. Kundeling was later apprehended and executed. The 15th of March 1959 was the first preparations for the escape of the 14th Dalai Lama. 16th of March 1959, the home of the Dalai Lama is in jeopardy as the Chinese heavy artillery is being moved into Lhasa and in range of Nobulinka. Rumors spread of Chinese troops being flown from China. 17th of March, 2 Chinese artillery shells are fired towards the Potala Palace. Members of the Dalai Lama's family, including his mother, secretly escape. They are followed by the Dalai Lama himself, who leaves the Nobulinka dressed as a soldier, carrying a rifle and covering his face with a skull. 18th of March 1959. Even though the Dalai Lama successfully escaped, the People Liberation Army, or the PLA, continued to kill countless people and bombard the Potala Palace, believing that His Holiness was still inside. 19th of March, protesters seized machine guns and fights break out in Lhasa. The news of the Dalai Lama's disappearance from Potala Palace rapidly spread, but many people still believed that His Holiness was still inside. 20th of March, the PLA was ordered to take control of Lhasa. Artillery shells were fired towards the crowd surrounding Nobulinka as they heard about His Holiness's escape. 21st of March, photo evidence of the Dalai Lama and his escape party crossing the Zangala Pass at this day in 1959. In Lhasa, Chinese soldiers blew up the gates of Nobulinka and the Chokrab temple was also under heavy artillery fire and was encircled by soldiers. 23rd of March, after several days of fighting, the Chinese military took control of Chokrab temple and raised the Chinese flag from its roof. 26th of March, His Holiness formally declared Tibet as a free and independent country. 31st of March, the Dalai Lama crossed the Indian border where he was escorted by the Indian guards towards the town of Bondila. He was reported resting in a Tala monastery 15 miles in India. The 10th of March sparked the beginning of a broad protest, fights, and deaths. It was the beginning of a revolution. The day the people from generations before started to fight, to rebel. It was the day that sparked tragedy, sadness, but also hope. The peaceful protest was violently crushed by the People's Liberation Army, killing at least 87,000 Tibetan men, women, and children. Thousands were arrested and sent to Chinese communist labor and re-education camps. Thousands of Tibetans' sacred and century-old religious sites were destroyed. This day is the embodiment of this tragedy. This day is to make sure these sacrifices of these brave and courageous Tibetans do not die in vain. Protests, we fight, we are here. Australia is a country more than 3 hours ahead of mostly every other country. So let's set an example. To show the Tibetans around the world, the people around the world, this is our protest, this is our fight, we won't lose. Tibetan kids around the globe, this is your time to rise, to fight. We are the future of Tibet. We are the Tibetans that will bring Tibet to its former glory. I encourage, I urge both Tibetans old and young to protest, fight, and shine. This is your time to rise and show the world you are here. Thank you and Pogolo.